Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. This morning we've come up to the Obed Wild and Scenic River, and we're at the Bluff parking area right now. And there's a couple trails that leave here. One of them I mentioned in a previous video called the Boulder Trail. That's a pretty interesting trail to go see. And then there's the Bridge Trail, which takes you down to the river, which is Clear Creek. And there's a couple waterfalls down there, and we're going to go down there today and visit those waterfalls. Now there's two ways to get to these waterfalls. One of them is you can come up here to the main parking area at the top and walk the trail down, and I'm going to show you that right now. We're driving down into this area, and they've got restrooms here. And this is the main parking area for Lily Bridge. Several of the trails leave from this area. And some people here parked here today. Looks like some rock climbers. Anyways, you can park here and access the trails. But what I like to do is go down to the bridge and park down there. So we'll head on down there right now and I'll show you where that is. Well, we arrived down here at the river where the bridge is, and you can access the trails from here also, and I'll show you right across the street here. All right, there's a sign that tells you, and we're going to go right up there in just a minute. Right down here is the river. This is Clear Creek, and we're up here at the Obed Wild and Scenic Area National Park System. And you can see there's some kayakers right down there. Real popular place when the water flows up, and it does look like the water flow is up today. So we're going to go get our gear and head on up the trail to these waterfalls. All right, we got our gear, and we're going to start up the trail right here. And you just head right on up the path right up this way, and we're going to go right to the waterfalls. And then you come up the trail just a little bit out of the parking lot, and you'll come to this sign. And the trail kind of forks here, goes that way or that way. And we're going to take the left side, which tells you you're going to the Lily Bluff parking, and that's where we were just at a while ago before I came down to this area. I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I believe it was the Laurel Snow Pocket Wilderness one, about my favorite place to come to. Well, this is it. The Obed Wild and Scenic, to me, is just the epitome of nature, especially up here on the plateau. There's a lot of old growth trees in here, and it's really natural. There's not a whole lot of improved areas, or the trails have not been improved a lot, which I kind of like. And I just like the way they manage the place. They just do it differently here. So we're gonna head on down the trail here, and next stop will be our first waterfall. Today is kind of chilly out. It's 37 degrees. It's about 10:45 a.m. and the sun is out. I don't believe that's going to bother us. Okay, we turned off the trail, and we're heading down what the rangers call up here a social trail. What that means is it's not an official trail that they created or that they maintain. Social trail means it's just a path that people have kind of made their way down. And you can see why. It's a little bit of a challenge to get down in there. We got to make our way down to the bottom down there. gonna put this thing up just for a second. Well, you pass by the lower falls to get to the upper falls, and you can't see it from the trail, the lower falls. You kind of have to go around these big old rocks they got down here. Them boulder size, house size rocks. That's what makes this place so beautiful. So you pass the lower falls on the way to the upper falls, and it's right over there. We're gonna come back to that. You can't get to it from this trail. You kind of got to whack around the rocks down here. And they're pretty good sized rocks too. They're house sized rocks all down through here. We're gonna continue on to the upper falls. Every time I come up here, this waterfall looks different. And this trail here is unimproved. Not unimproved, unimproved. So it means you're gonna have to work your way up to get to the waterfall through the rhododendrons, climbing over roots, what have you. So I'm gonna turn the camera around. You get your first glimpse of this waterfall. There it is, way back there. We got to cross the creek right here. We're gonna do that now. Well, here we are, we made it. And there's the waterfall behind me. We're gonna get set up over here and find a few compositions. I've shot this thing, a dozen times. I come up here quite a bit. It's only about 30 minutes from my house. Ozone's closer, but this is my #1 spot. This is the place I like. Well, this is the shot we're set up at. It's what I call the front straight on shot. The flow's pretty good today, surprisingly. The sun has not come in on us. I don't believe we will have any problem with that. There's a little bit of light over here, but otherwise it's pretty shady down in here. We got the Nikon Z6 II with the 14-30, and we're just using the circular polarizer. Our exposure is ISO 100 at f8, a half a second. Not going to do any kind of bracketing or any kind of focus stacking. This is a one-shot image. We'll show that during the video. And this is the resulting image from this location. There are several distracting elements within the picture, especially the rock in the front and the tree to the left. I normally do some editing to my waterfall pictures. So for this one, I moved into Photoshop, cropped the image in, and got rid of that tree on the left-hand side. I was pretty pleased with the outcome and the mood that this image sets. We'll get down here a little bit low. Now get the camera level. I'm going to go back to f8. Half a second shutter speed. Kind of like that. We're going to have to focus stack this one because it's a long way from here over to there, and there's a lot of rocks and interesting things right here. So we're going to do a focus stack on this. So I'll go ahead and place my marker. And I'll take my first shot. Second shot. Third shot. That ought to do it. So again, we're at ISO 100, f8 at a half a second. See what that looks like. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, what a beautiful waterfall this is. Put my marker down. Yeah, I really like this. All right, do that. I'm gonna have to go back and take in pictures again, I think. Let me see. No, I'm okay. just the video gets cropped a little bit. All right, that's it for this right here. That's 2 compositions. And I'll go ahead and show this picture in the video now. Here's the scene that I captured from across the spillway there. I had to do some editing on this one also. I just don't care for those trees inside the picture, so I took it into Photoshop and removed them also. And here's the Photoshop version of it with the trees removed. This is the editing style that I picked. This is what I like to do. I'm happy with this image. Turned out pretty well, I think. Probably going to be my favorite image of the day. Well, we finished up here at the upper falls. Now we're going to make our way back down to the lower falls, try to get a few pictures down there of that. So we left the upper falls, making our way back down the way we came up. Just wanted to show you this little area right here. Really neat looking. Okay, we're set up here on this other shot. We're halfway between the 2 waterfalls. It's in the spillway area. And this little feature right over here just really caught my interest. Now I've got the 14 to 30 on there right now. And I'm gonna take a few shots with that. And then I'm gonna leave the tripod exactly where it sits and switch over to the 24 to 70 and do a few shots with that. And then I'm gonna do some example polarized shots and non-polarized shots. So this is a polarized shot. We're maxed out at 13 millimeters here, ISO 100, f8 at, it's about a 2.5 second shot. I mean, not second, but 1/2 0.5. I don't know how you say that. Okay, I really like that. Now I'm gonna take the polarization off and do the same shot so you can see the difference. Same exposure. This one here would be 1 1/3. So we got one with polarization and without polarization. I like that. We'll go ahead and show these images now. This first image is the one with the polarizer in effect. And this image is with polarization removed. You can see the difference. It's a pretty drastic difference. And we have here the final version that was edited. This particular shot was done with the 14 to 30 lens. Now we're going to take the camera off. I'm going to save these settings so I don't have to dial them back in again. So I go into my menu, save user settings, number 1. Okay. Now when I turn the camera on, the settings will still be there. What I'm going to do now is switch over now to the 24 to 70 and put that on the camera and see how that looks. And I'm going to shoot this same scene. I didn't move my tripod, my head, nothing. Kind of got the camera back in the same spot it was. Same exposure settings. So just to remind you, we're at ISO 100, f8 at 1/3 of a second. I'm going to shoot this, and then it's polarized now. Then I'm going to unpolarize it and see what that looks like. So there's the polarized shot. Looks kind of cool. Now we're going to unpolarize it. That way I have a comparison. Never done anything like this before, where I had a comparison. Anyways, that's a pretty nice shot there. I like these little tight shots like this. I'm going to go out a little bit further, try to get closer to 70. And I don't know if I could do that or not from right here. Probably not. But I'm going to shoot this anyways, then I'm going to try to move. So we're polarized. Yeah, I need to move just a little bit. Move back some. Kind of a neat little composition here, really. The way that water's coming there. I get my... Sometimes I wish my tripod was just a little bit taller. Kind of hard to see what's above it there. Just here. Okay, so we're going to do this one at 70 millimeters on the 24 to 70. Leaves falling out of the trees. Yep. Let's see what that looks like. I kind of like it myself. Let me get the camera so you guys can see. What I'm looking at here. There's the shot. I think you can see it. If not, I'm going to show it in the video right now. Well, this is the image here with the 70 millimeter focal setting. Again, it was ISO 100 at f8, and the shutter speed was about a half a second. It wasn't my favorite shot from this location, though. My favorite photograph from that location was at 50 millimeter focal length on the 24 to 70. All right, we made it down to the lower falls, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Doesn't look too bad today. I'm not going to stop here and take a picture of it. Like I said earlier, I've been here 10 or 12 different times. So here we are at the lower Melton Mill Branch Falls. And earlier we was at the upper Melton Mill Branch Falls. It's a tongue twister. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this day being out here with me. We're going to get ready here and head back up to the car. Beautiful, isn't it? Well, it's been a wonderful day up here at the Obed Wild and Scenic River and visiting these two beautiful waterfalls up here. I'll tell you, this is some of the prettiest hiking that you'll find on the plateau, and it's really in its natural state. They haven't done a lot of improvements to it, which I really enjoy. I don't like paved trails. I know they have their place, but I'm really glad that we can come out here and enjoy this place in its natural state. So we was up today at the Melton Mill Branch Falls. That's where we was today. And you can park down here at the Lily Bridge and come into it, or you can park up at Lily Bluff parking lot where we were early this morning and hike down to it. And they're really pretty waterfalls. Anyways, we're heading back to the car now. And the sun's out today. It's really perfect weather for hiking. I get out here and hike for my own reasons. A lot of people have their reasons too. Mine is mainly for the photography and to enjoy nature. And you don't have to drive very far from home to find the good stuff. I've driven up to 180 miles in a day to photograph things, and wasn't happy with what I got when I came back. Kind of sorry that I drove all that way. And then here I am, not 30 minutes from my house, photographing a real beauty. Well, I'm so glad you came along today to the Obed Wild and Scenic River to view these waterfalls. It was a nice hike today. Today's December 22nd, 2021. If you like what I do, you like my videos, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, I appreciate it if you give me a like, thumbs up. Till next time, we'll see you. Bye. Beautiful. Beautiful morning. Crisp.